go all the way back, man. Where were you born and raised?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Anadarko, a very small place. Everyone in Anadarko, no matter what they think, everyone is the most poorest people on the planet Earth. They're just, and no one's rich. So, the biggest thing there is to when you grow up, you go work at Walmart, and they have benefits. So that's where you go. That's the big place to go, and even kind of going back, just I kind of give this as a story about for surely cybersecurity, but like more like success. So born and raised there. I actually had a kid when I was 18, super young, but I learned in school. I was actually the kid that got in trouble all the time. I would always argue with teachers at all times and explain how I don't need algebra and how it just wasn't for me. And it got to a point where they would just be like, hey, why don't you just leave? Why don't you go do something? And that was computers were really, really taking off. And I started to fix them. Really going back to just being poor is I would never download music for free. But if I were going to do such things, there was a thing called Napster you could use. And so I had to build a computer.
So was this before LimeWire? Because I was the generation that used LimeWire.
So Napster was the breaking point, right? So it's probably been like 1997.
Okay.
And what I did to help do that, I asked one of my buddies, like, hey, I need to build a computer. He set this gigantic book down in front of me that was way too big for me to care about. And just mowed lawns. Yeah. And I built piece by piece. Recognized if you didn't have memory, it would do some type of beep things. And, the power supply and what that meant. And I just kind of started there, kind of in high school. So
that's where growing up then, you were really trying to find something. And in a small town with not much to do, you either go to Walmart or whatever, or and then you have a child, and you're just still kind of figuring out what you want to do, and then someone says, I want to, you figure out that, hang on, I want to download music on a computer. How do I get that? Yep. And then go down this entire rabbit hole, and now here we are today.
Yeah, it's actually pretty wild. I'll do a quick fast forward, kind of going back from starting there. And I kind of tell this for people out there, college and what your focus is. And you can always do something strong. There's always something you can find in your life that you're like, hey, if I do this and I'm an expert, you can excel at, no matter whether it's a podcast today we're talking about or what I do. But like, having that, and I just kept fixing computers, and I just kept moving with this, and I was like, someone's like, hey man, we'll give you like $20 to make a machine. I was like, oh, this is cool. You're like, I have air conditioning, like I don't have to go outside.
Right.
So I started doing that, and I moved from Anadarko, and I worked at a few other big places. I did security and forensics at some pretty big players. Obviously LinkedIn, but like Schlumberger, which is headquartered out of Houston, did a lot of that there. Chesapeake Energy, back when it was cool. Not that it's not super cool now, but it was a little cooler.
In the heyday.
In the heyday. Yeah. Ride the wave is what we say.
Right.
And then, I went to work for Love's Travel Stops, built that from there, from the ground up, and then worked for a company out of Tokyo for a while. And then I was like, I just got to do this myself. Travel a lot. I've worked incidents all over the globe.
Yeah.
All the way, kind of bring us all full story to an advanced persistent threat, which is called APT in Germany, to the Philippines, to Mexico, to Canada. Honestly, it's just everyone would just like, hey, like, can you do this? And I would always say yes, even though I had no idea.
Right.